This video will help you understand addition and subtraction. As you know, there are many different ways to add and subtract. You can count on your fingers, you can use blocks, you can use coins, or you can even use plastic round chips. So let's say you wanted to add 35 plus 40. You could get the little yellow cubes, count out 35, and then count out 40, and then put them all together and count them again. And you would find out that you now have 75 little yellow cubes. Or let's say you started with a big number of yellow cubes and you counted them and you found out that you had 75. If you took away 35, you would have some number left. You could count them and you would discover that you have 40 plastic cubes left over. So when you add, you get more. It's a little bit like blowing up a balloon. You start out with the balloon and you're ready to start putting air into it. You start blowing, you give it one puff, and soon the balloon gets a little bigger. You give the balloon another puff of air, and the balloon gets a little bigger. You give the balloon another puff of air, and it gets even bigger. Another puff of air, and it gets even bigger. More and more air makes the balloon get bigger and bigger. One more puff of air, and that's as big as the balloon can get. If you put any more air into it, it might pop. So you gave it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big puffs of air, and now it's all blown up. Subtraction is the opposite of addition. So let's say you have a balloon that you've blown up, but for some reason you've decided to let some of the air out. If you let some of the air out, the balloon gets smaller. So when you take away the air, the balloon gets smaller. And if you subtract all of the air, then the balloon is small again. Let's take another look at what happens when we add. Let's say this woman weighs 100 pounds. And she eats lots and lots of French fries and lots of chocolate bars. Do you think she will add weight or lose weight? She will add weight. So let's say she added 20 pounds. Now she weighs 120 pounds. Oh, but now she eats lots and lots of cupcakes and lots of donuts. Let's see what happens next. Because she ate all those cupcakes and all those donuts, she added more weight. Now she weighs 140 pounds. She decides that she wants to lose some weight. She wants to subtract some weight from her body. So right now she weighs 140 pounds. She stops eating cupcakes and donuts because she wants to lose weight. She wants to subtract weight. She's happy now because she lost 20 pounds. She now weighs 120 pounds. So she was able to subtract weight by not eating the cupcakes or the donuts. Now she stops eating French fries and chocolate. What do you think will happen? Oh, look! When she stopped eating French fries and chocolate, she lost another 20 pounds. She was able to subtract another 20 pounds. So now she weighs 100 pounds again. Now let's see how it works when we add using a number line. Let's say we start at the number 7 and we want to make 5 hops on the number line. Where do you think we will land? Well, the first hop gets us from 7 to 8. The second hop gets us from 8 to 9. The third hop gets us from 9 to 10. The fourth hop gets us from 10 to 11. And the fifth hop gets us from 11 to 12. So 7 plus 5 hops gets us to 12. We land on the 12. So 7 plus 5 equals 12. I like using a number line because I think it's easier than counting out blocks or coins, and it's even easier than counting on my fingers because I don't have 12 fingers. If I don't have a number line, I can draw one, but I can't grow extra fingers. So I think it's much better and easier to count on a number line. So once again, if we start at 7 and we add 5, we end up at 12. Let's see how it works when we subtract using a number line. Let's say we start at 8 and we want to take away 6. Where do you think we will land? One important thing to notice is when we subtract on a number line, we go in the opposite direction of when we add. So when we subtract, we are going from a bigger number to a smaller number. So let's start at the 8 and make 6 bunny hops to the smaller numbers. The first bunny hop gets us to 7. The second bunny hop gets us to 6. The third bunny hop gets us to 5. The fourth bunny hop gets us to 4. The fifth bunny hop gets us to 3. And the sixth bunny hop lands us on 2. We end up at the number 2. Here's another way of looking at it without the bunnies. We start at number 8 and we take away 6 and we end up at 2 because we subtracted 8 minus 6 equals 2. We start at a bigger number and we end at a smaller number when we subtract. Here's a picture of what it looks like when we add. We start at a smaller number and we end at a bigger number. We move to the right on the number line. Plus, 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 and our answer is called a sum. And here's how it looks when we subtract on a number line. We start at a bigger number and we end at a smaller number. Minus, minus, minus. And the answer is called the difference. So here you can see addition and subtraction together. When you add, you start at a small number and go plus, plus, plus. Your answer is a bigger number, and the answer is called the sum when you add. When you subtract, you start at a bigger number, and you go minus, minus, minus. Your answer will be a smaller number. The answer when you subtract is called the difference. Here's an example of an addition word problem. There are 4 ducks in the pond. 3 more fly in to join them. How many ducks in all? How many ducks altogether? We started with 4 and we add 3. There are 7 ducks in all. There are 7 ducks altogether. Here is an example of a subtraction word problem. There are 7 ducks in a pond. 3 take off and leave. How many ducks are there now? How many ducks are left? What is the difference in the ducks that started and the ducks that ended up in the pond? So just remember, whether you add or subtract, it's easy to draw a number line. And when you add, you start with a number, plus, 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 and you end with a bigger number. The answer is called the sum. When you subtract, you start with a bigger number and minus, minus, minus to a smaller number. You end up with an answer that's called the difference when you subtract. Now I will show you how to draw a number line. Put your pencil on the left side of the page and get ready to draw. Draw a straight line going across the page. Go back to the beginning of the number line and put a little mark that goes up and down. This is where you will put a 0. Write the 0 under the line. Now move a little bit to the right. Draw another little line that goes up and down. Now write the number 1 under the line. So far your number line has a 0 and a 1. Keep going until you've filled up your line. Sometimes you might run into a problem if you don't make your number line big enough. For example, this number line starts at 0 and ends at 14. I am trying to use this number line to solve the problem 10 plus 7 equals. So I start at 10 and I do 4 bunny hops and I'm out of numbers. Now what do? I need to add 7, not 4. When you are first learning how to add and subtract on a number line that goes from 0 all the way up to 20 is usually a pretty good number line. Now I can solve the problem 10 plus 7 equals 17. One day you will learn how to add and subtract in your head, and you will not need to draw a number line. But for now, I think the number line is a great way to learn how to do your addition and subtraction problems.